Hello, this is Mark Denham, radio presenter, audio producer, podcaster, and voiceover. Today on the Audio Journey, part 59, we answer specifically a question from Nick. Nick asks, what is that funny coloured bit at the bottom of your screen? Nick, that is the spectral frequency analysis. And if you don't have it open, it's up here. You've got waveform, multitrack, then you have these two, spectral frequency display and the spectral pitch display. You can pop it off, you can pop it on. Obviously, if you pop it off, you get a full display of your waveform. And if you pop it on, you get your waveform and the corresponding frequency analysis. What's it doing? It's telling you the strength of the frequencies within your audio. Your microphone will have a designated frequency pickup between X and Y. If you have a decent microphone, it's going to pick up the full spectrum of audio available in your voice, or indeed instruments, if that's what you're recording. If you have a lesser quality microphone, you may find that you are a little more shallow down here, or indeed if you have a less deep voice, you may find you're a little shallow down here. These fiery bits are the bass frequencies, which are pretty strong in this recording. And then up here, you've got the high end. You can see the scale here going from all the way down at the bottom, right the way up to the top end at the top of this display. And if we play it, this is or was a sample voice recording with full frequency. Now, let me show you by going into here. I'm going to get rid of the metadata window that I always use, but for this thing, I don't need it. I'll go into the frequency analysis and you can see what this does. This is or was a sample voice recording with full frequency. What that does is it shows you your frequencies there in a linear form, a sample voice. So you can see here we've got a lot of low end in there and the frequencies tail off, but we have the full range of frequencies in that. Okay, so what we can do is we can capture a print by clicking on number 1. Then no matter where I put the cursor now, we have a print of what we had. Now, let me zoom out so you can see all of this. If you press the backslash key, then you will get either a zoomed in or zoomed out view. That's the whole of the waveform in view there. I'm going to go to here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply the FFT filter and I'm going to do a roll off incredibly high. I'm going to go around about 800 hertz and take that down. And then all of the frequencies beneath 800 hertz are now trapped out. Let's have a listen to what we have. This is or was a sample voice recording with full frequency. And you can see here where we had high peak numbers here on the decibel level of the low frequencies. This is or was. Hang on. You can see that we are missing a sample. That very, very start bit. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take another print. This is or was a sample voice recording with full frequency. And you can see here from that sample print, if I put that in an empty bit, you can see there that we are now missing all of the bottom frequencies. How do you see that in the spectral frequency? If you open the preview editor basically shows you your waveform at the top and the spectral frequency display of it. And then at the bottom, it shows you your new waveform and your spectral frequency display, if you have that enabled, of course, with the effects process. Now, we've rolled off all of the bottom end, and you can see here, a lot of fiery orange here, no fiery orange here, because we've rolled it off altogether. Again, if we go in and we apply a second one, and we'll roll off this time up at the top end. So let's roll from there, and we'll drag that down, and then everything above 3000 hertz, 3 kilohertz is now gone. And look at that. Look at that. There is absolutely nothing there at all now, except for that tiny bit of mid-range that we've allowed through. And if you watch here on the linear graphical view, you'll see the same. This is or was a sample voice recording with full frequency. So you can see there that we have now the full frequencies, we have the bass roll-off, and we have just the mid. The 3 different prints there. And also in the spectral frequency, you can see how that corresponds. The first one is the full one. There it all is. The second one will be without the high pass, the low pass roll off. And then you've got obviously both the top and the bottom rolled off. that corresponds to the blue one. So that's how it all works. It's just a heat map of the frequencies contained within your audio. Now, what uses are there to the spectral frequency? I'll show you and why I often have it open. I'm going to open a new file and I'm going to close the preview window and I'm going to turn on my desk fan, which is blowing, which you probably cannot hear, but I'm going to turn it on, and it also has an annoying vibrate as well on my desk. But you will hear or see the noise. There is a recording. I'll get rid of me. And if we look, nothing at all on the VU meters. You can't hear anything at all. But what you can see is a lot of purple in there, meaning that there is noise. If we go in and we normalize that, there's a lot of noise from that fan. And you can see now the orange heat map picking up that noise. So it's not desirable at all. Now let's go back and undo that normalization. Why do you need to worry about this? Well, because if I go in now and I'm going to open up the preview window again and I apply, let's say, a bit of compression to this, I'm going to go really hard with the multiband compressor, then you can see that we have made those lines there much darker now. Still can't hear it, mind you, but we have applied that. If you have a background noise which is of sufficient level and you were to use an effect such as compression or such as the speech volume leveler, what you will find is that will get sucked up and you will be able to hear that annoying background noise, and it will end up looking like that. So you'll get your audio, which is what you've actually recorded, and you'll get this background noise as well. I'm going to turn the fan back off, by the way, because we don't really need it on. Let's have a look, though, at what we can do here with the spectral frequency analysis. So I'm going to get rid of the multiband compressor. And in the spectral frequency analysis here, we can see the noise that is there. We know it's there because the spectral frequency analysis shows us that, which is one of the reasons I always have it open. If ever I'm working with podcasts or anything and there is a little bit of background noise in there, you want to know before you go in and apply any other effects, and you want to get rid of that noise. So what you can do is you can pop open the amplitude statistics, you can scan that, and your peak amplitude minus 65.2. If you go into the dynamics window here, put that on default, AutoGate, the lowest you can go is minus 60, but that will now in this preview window, you see here, black. There is nothing at all now. We will apply that. Done, and we will go into favorites and normalize, and still nothing because we've trapped it out. And we know there's nothing because not only can we not hear it now, but we also can't see it. Can't hear it, can't see it. You know that it is gone. Another thing that you can do, if I go back to the original here, is if we go in here and we'll take these two off. So we are back now with the original. This is or was the original voice there. You can see here, I'm just going to close this down for a moment so you can zoom in here. You can see fiery orange bits at the bottom. They're fine because that's just me. And I would, if I was going to use this voice, I would then put on there a high pass filter and I would roll off anything beneath 80 hertz anyway for definite. But if you look up here, there are maybe some bits which certainly in some microphones, some vocal and microphone combinations can result in sibilance. What you could do is you could go then to the spot healing brush, the selection tool, and you also have the spot healing brush here. And you could just paint over, like you do in Photoshop, to remove a blemish or anything in Photoshop. Just this little dot here, let's say. Let's have a listen. With full. So let's just loop that and we'll put that on repeat. Okay, so we don't really like that. All right, we don't really like that. So we're going to just get rid of that real fiery dot there. And you will find now a sample voice recording with full frequency. This is that we've just removed that little bit of harshness in there just by using the spectral frequency. Now, you couldn't do it up here in the waveform because your options then would be just delete. And all of a sudden, recording with full frequency doesn't work, does it? But by using the spot healing brush here and the spectral frequency, you can pick out the frequencies that you want to remove, and you can remove them. Again here, full frequency. You could just use a little bit of that and just paint over, and it's gone. With full frequency, and you're only affecting that tiny little bit that you paint out. I mean, obviously, I could be really, really silly here and paint like that, and I've ruined my audio by being really, really silly. But why would you do that? The option is there if you want to, but I wouldn't suggest doing it. So if we ever listen now, is or was a sample voice recording with full frequency. And you can see that I've taken far, far too many frequencies out there. So we don't want to do that. But in terms of just little hot spots that you don't want, you can, like we did here, just paint over them. Gone. That's what the spectral frequency does. It's a heat map for the frequencies in your audio, corresponds to the frequency analysis window here, but it's also more than that because it can identify noise that you can't hear, that is there, that you don't want to produce into your final production, whatever it is, whether you're producing with a podcast and using a bit of speech volume leveler, sucks everything up. So if you have got noise that you can't hear, you can always open the spectral frequency and tell if it's there or not. Again, you can, because one other thing, if you're setting a gate, by the way, set it only on the background noise. If you get where someone's about to talk and they've taken a breath, don't include that in your gate, because then you're going to set your gate falsely and you may end up trapping out some of the actual speech. So again, when you set this, look on the spectral frequency and you will be able to see the bit that you want to select. So if it was me, I would be selecting just that little bit there, and then I could do my amplitude statistics. I could scan that and I could set my gate according to that. So you can use it for setting your gate. You can also use it for removing harsh frequencies that you don't want. It's a very, very powerful tool, and you get it, just pop it on there, and there it is. You also have this one here as well, which is a spectral pitch analysis, which analyzes the pitch of your voice as well. This is or was a sample voice recording with full frequency. Slightly different, but you can see here all the different keys involved in your audio. Again, you get the fiery orange for the big frequencies, or in this case, the big notes as well. So yeah, I very rarely use that one. I do use this one all the time, and it is always on by default. Hopefully this has been of some help to you. Thank you as always for checking out the audio journey. And Nick, I hope that's answered your question, and I hope it's also been helpful for everyone else as well. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget, if you do have any questions, stick them in the comments below if you are watching on YouTube. Alternatively, the entire audio journey series, all 59 parts even to date, available on markdenham.com. And there's also a contact tab there where you can ask your question, which is what Nick did. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a good day and go make some amazing audio.